Hi creators, it's Claire from Springworth, and today I'm going to attempt to deal with these. These are offcuts from the hexagon piecing jacket, and they're about 3 inches tall and just under an inch wide. And I've got a few ideas as to how I'm going to put these together because I have like a lot of them. The project I have in mind is actually a pincushion, which is the CWA's group challenge, branch challenge. It's pretty much all I have at the moment is a couple of ideas how I might put these together. I've got an idea for a star, I've got an idea for like a swirl, but they're kind of big. Like if you do too much with these, like you only really want a pincushion like that big, and although obviously I'll lose some in a seam allowance, I don't want to get in a variety because I've got a variety of fabrics. I want some colour variety, some pattern variety. So let's see what options I can come up with. And even if you don't choose the option that I choose, maybe you'll get some inspiration for your weird shaped scraps. First thing to do then is to just sort through and iron these. Some of them kind of too frayed already, a little bit smaller. So I'm going to see if I can just, I have so many that I'm just going to see what I can piece through these. So iron and sort. And I did happen to buy myself now that's organised, let me show you the options I have. Got a couple of thoughts. I was thinking maybe a strip, kind of piecing them like slanted squares maybe. I realised they could make stars. And it would obviously be a little bit smaller and doesn't necessarily have to have a Y seam if I sew kind of this way. I'm not sure what I would do, like even before it's 6 inches, you know, 5 to 6 inches. That's an enormous pincushion. Even with the seam allowance, that's still an enormous pincushion. So I actually really like that idea, but I don't know what I would do with it. And obviously you could mix the colours up. And equally with this pattern up here, it's very linear. And I'm looking for maybe a square pincushion. Like, do I fill the gap somehow? I'm still considering this. The star probably is a no, just because of the size. And then I also found kind of a spiral and kind of started here and then I worked my way just overlapping them, kind of coming from that center point. And this isn't necessarily the final choice of fabric, but we'll give you an idea of what it would look like. And I do actually quite like the repeating pattern of colours. Coming around probably to there, and again having that center line, but I would have to figure out what to do with the edges. Am I just going to cut that into a circle or a square? Like maybe, but then I have even less scrap pieces to work with, so nothing is really setting my world on fire at this point. So let's see what else I might be able to come up with. Okay, take 2 then. Let's have a redraft. And if you've been screaming at me this whole time, Claire, make it a triangle shaped pincushion, then I have finally got the inspiration from you. Thank you. And this is just to say, working with scraps isn't always an obvious answer. There isn't always an obvious solution. Try, play, piece things together. That's part of the fun. So I'm going to make a triangle. It's going to be chevron inspired. Central, like a central seam, so mirrored on each side. I'll bring you in now and I will show you. This then is my current working arrangement, and you can see I'm running that central line down through here so I can make two sides and piece them together. I'm probably also going to hand piece this because the sewing machine, I was getting kind of uneven lines as it fed through. Because the pieces are so small, it's kind of just careering off to one side, so I'll probably hand piece these. I have two sides which I've managed to match the stripes perfectly on both, which I'm very pleased about. But I have been wondering how big is too big for a pincushion. And I want to say this is one of the reasons you should stick with the project even when it's something's bothering you, because what I'm going to try is a puffed pincushion. And by that I mean I'm going to try and stuff each of these segments individually. So I'm going to put the front and back together, and then I'm going to stitch along each of the seams, and then before enclosing the seam I'm going to attempt to stuff just that one segment. I decided to speed things along and I just did that seam on the sewing machine. I can't be dealing with bias binding. That looks cool. I'm going to start the stuffing. This is not a finished pincushion. This, I think, is going to go down as a project fail. So in stuffing, I noticed this seam has already come open here because the margins on these triangles were so small. Even with hand sewing, that is the third seam just to fall apart. So sometimes projects don't work out. I still love that. Look how that looks, like so cool. Absolutely, I think I would probably change these colours and make it kind of 3, 4 as you go through. But it is what it is. I haven't quit on the idea, and the stars you saw, the star you saw earlier, I really like that idea too. So I think what I will need to look at is how I stabilize these, and I think I do have stabilizer, or I can sew them directly onto a fabric. I will still make some version of this, but the pin cushion I need for my competition will have to come from something else, and obviously I've had an idea on what that will be, but you will have to stick around to see what that is. If you love projects using scraps, be sure to check out the series. And if you love some of the real elements of crafting where projects don't work out, you should check out my membership, which is Stitchable Co, a community where we share patterns, ideas, inspiration, and also some of the behind the scenes for when things don't work out, which is a total normal part of crafting. And I will see you in the next video.